I'm irritated about the impending fix/nerf for the Rogue Whisper Knife, but it's not exactly for all the reasons you might think. Roll it. Welcome back, and I'm gonna get right to the point. I'm pretty annoyed and upset about the upcoming damage fixes for Whisper Knife. It's not that I'm against addressing issues with certain interactions that might be a bit over the top. Those fixes actually make sense. What's bothering me is a couple of other aspects directly or indirectly tied to these fixes, which I will explain in a minute. But first, Brett Norton spilled the details, and you can check them out on your screen right now and read them for yourselves, because I'm surely not going to read them for you. Now let me elaborate on why these changes are getting on my damn nerves. The first and most glaring reason is the history Neverwinter has with fixes. It's not exactly a track record that inspires confidence. More often than not, things end up more fucked up than they were when they started. Are these fixes really going to improve the situation, or is, in quotations, fixing just a euphemism for wrecking the overall performance of classes or Paragon paths? The uncertainty comes from their horrible history and the fact that the fixes haven't even been applied yet. We don't know how the Whisper Knife will perform after these changes, and there's no guarantee that the reduction in damage to certain powers and interactions will be balanced with buffs elsewhere to compensate for any damage loss. We'll just have to see. But in a nutshell, our frustrations stem from the assumption that the worst case scenario might unfold, and it's not baseless considering past disappointments in similar situations where they absolutely destroyed things. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't have much faith in their balancing/fixing abilities. The second reason for my frustration is that they keep releasing things in a broken state instead of ensuring that they work correctly before unleashing them on the player base. I'm fed up with being a beta tester for their products, and so should you. It's incredibly frustrating because when something goes live, people expect it to function as intended. Why release something if it's not working as designed? People invest time, money, and effort building around these broken elements only to see them fixed later, resulting in reduced damage output. It feels like a slap in the face when something that was good becomes worse, even if it's because it wasn't working as intended. But if they properly tested and released items or classes to the live servers with all interactions fixed, then there wouldn't be so much frustration. People would receive a polished, well-tested product without looming damage reductions or nerfs on the horizon. That's the normal and expected way that things should be released. Instead, we get half-tested, if at all, additions to the live servers, and then they use us as the guinea pigs. And whenever I hear them say we tested it internally, it makes me internally want to punch them in their damn throat.
I would like to rear up and jackknife my legs and kick you both in the fucking jaw with my foot bone.
Because we all know in the end, we're the ones doing the testing. And that is also precisely why you shouldn't blindly follow any builds for any classes released by content creators until a month or two have passed and the glitches have been ironed out. In essence, Aragon's Whisper Knife build did more harm than good, even if the intention was to help people. Within a day of the build release, the video becomes outdated, and some people end up spending money and effort to follow a build that's no longer relevant. So just be careful before following any build and let enough time pass before you actually follow it. It's just some friendly advice. You could either take it or leave it. My third source of frustration comes from the fact that certain classes, like the Wizard, seem to roam freely with their buggy interactions, and there are very few, if any, fixes in sight, even after multiple modules. I have nothing against the Wizard per se, but it raises the question, why do they get a pass? Has any class been more blatantly overpowered than the Wizard in the past few modules? They have a few things not working as intended, so why haven't they been balanced yet? And this is not me shitting on Wizards, because I want Wizards to be good, and it's actually my second favorite class. I want them to be great, but greatness should come while working as designed without overshadowing most classes. And this is where class balance comes in. Class balance in essence is about ensuring a fair distribution of power and effectiveness among all classes. The aim should be to prevent any particular class or character type from having any significant advantage or disadvantage over others. I mean, I'm aware that small differences are inevitable since perfect balance is impossible, but sadly, good balance is lacking in Neverwinter, where some classes clearly outshine others in different situations. The goal should be to create an environment where players can enjoy a variety of classes, playstyles, and strategies while maintaining a sense of competitiveness and fairness. Unfortunately, that ideal doesn't seem to apply in Neverwinter, where certain classes obviously have a clear advantage over others. And when it comes to Whisper Knife, I don't really want to jump to conclusions prematurely, even though my faith in them is very low. Let's see how Whisper Knife's damage looks like after the fixes, and then we could talk about it even more. The objective should be to make Whisper Knife competitive in both single target and an AoE and not render it pointless to use. The same goal should extend to every Paragon path in every class in the game, and Cryptic should focus on ensuring that the products and fixes they release work seamlessly before releasing them into the wild. Otherwise, we'll always be the beta testers, consistently frustrated with Cryptic for not thoroughly testing their own content before handing it over to us and then nursing him in the long run. I mean, what is the point of reworking Wisprife at all if the end results end up with it being useless and not competitive at all? It would be a complete waste of time, and we'll just end up pissed off in the end. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Time to go. Peace.